Welcome once again to our YouTube channel. Thanks for subscribing to our channel. Really appreciate you. In this particular tutorial video, we want to quickly look at the agric practical specimen for 2025 Waec, the Waec that is ongoing right now. So the specimens that have been listed are these that are listed on our screen. Our specimen A is the ammonium sulfate, which is going to be labeled. Specimen B is muriate of potash, also labeled. Our specimen C is cow dung. Specimen D is compost, which is also labeled. Our specimen E is the cutlass. Specimen F is spade. Specimen G is wheelbarrow. Specimen H is yam beetle. We have our specimen I to be Cowpea weevil. We have specimen J to be Centrosema pubescens. Specimen K is speargrass. Specimen L is gizzard of chicken. Specimen M is the goat skin, the fresh goat skin or fresh with hairs intact, the goat skin with hairs on it. And then our specimen N is the horn. So without wasting much of our time, we'll go to talk about the first specimen, which is our specimen A, ammonium sulfate. Ammonium sulfate is a chemical substance that is written chemically as NH42SO4. That is the chemical formula for ammonium sulfate. It is a versatile salt with various commercial uses, most importantly used as nitrogen fertilizer. It supplies nitrogen to crops when it is used as fertilizer. It is a white or to yellowish gray crystalline salt soluble in water. This particular salt is very soluble in water. It dissolves easily in water, and it contains about 21% of nitrogen and 24% of sulfur. Ammonium sulfate adds acidity to the alkaline soil, thereby causing it to be more acidic, and then releasing its ammonium ions. That is how it actually makes the soil to be acidic. Application of this particular salt is granular. You can apply it granularly to the soil, directly to the soil, or you can actually dissolve it first into water and then you apply it to the soil by spraying. This particular specimen is crop specific. So the crop specificity of it is usually suitable to various crops including cereals, vegetables, forage crops, etc. You can actually use it to contribute to the healthy plant growth and improve crop yield. These are some of the things that we need to know about ammonium sulfate. Looking at pictures from it now, these are pictures of the ammonium sulfate. This actually helps you to understand what the ammonium sulfate actually is. So this is how the picture looks. These are pellets of the ammonium sulfate. But if you are not looking at the pellets, this is how it also looks like when it is granular. You can see the granular nature of this particular substance here. Also, this is another picture of it in another form. You can see it in crystalline form as well. So that is about our specimen A. We move to our specimen B, which is the muriate of potash. Muriate of potash, which is also labeled. This is also another type of fertilizer made of potassium chloride. It is known as potassium chloride and it is used as fertilizer to improve the potassium content of plants. It is because it aids their growth and development. It is used to aid the growth of plants as well as the development of the crop. It is a soluble fertilizer as well, so it can be applied to the crops directly or when it is dissolved in water. It is used on crops like fruits, like sugarcane, vegetables, etc. It improves crop yield and quantity by improving proper root development and strengthening the stems as well as the cell wall, making them to be more resistant to diseases and plants. That is one major way through which this particular fertilizer, muriate of potash, which is potassium chloride, actually helps the plant. It also helps them to conserve water, to resist drought, and then primarily used in agriculture. But when there are other uses of it, it can also be used in the production of detergents, ceramics, as well as water conditioners. It can also be used as de-icing agent. You can also use it as a de-icing agent. All of these are the properties that we need to look at talking about muriate of potash. And here is what the picture of the muriate of potash looks like, the potassium chloride. This is what it looks like. You can see the picture here. Here's another picture. This one is in we have them, this one here in pellets, and here we have them in granules. You can see that is what the picture looks like. This is another picture of that particular substance, the muriate of potash. And then we move further to the next specimen, which is our specimen C, the cow dung. Cow dung, also known as cow parts. Cow manure is the waste product of bovine animal. This include cattle, bison, yak, water buffalo, etc. All of these animals, they produce what we refer to as cow parts or cow manure or cow dung. Cow dung is the undigested residue of plant matter which has passed through the animal gut. Yes, undigested residue of the plant matter that has not properly digested as it passed through the animal gut, they are the things that we refer to as the cow part or the cow dung. The resultant fecal matter is rich in minerals. This particular material that has passed through the cow gut is very, very rich in minerals, and these are the major uses of this cow parts. It is used as fuel, it is used as fertilizer when it is applied to our plants. It is used as fertilizer. It can be used as fuel to generate energy. You use it to floor, it is used as floor and wall coating. Yes, you can actually use it to coat the floor and the walls. It can also be used as mosquito repellent, and then it is also believed to improve interior hygiene of environments. These are the characteristics or properties and uses of the cow dung. And here is what the cow dung looks like. You can see it when it is actually passed out. That is what the cow dung looks like. You can see this is another picture of it, and this is another picture of it. So we move over to the next specimen, which is specimen D, that is compost. Compost is a mixture of ingredients used as plant fertilizer. It's a mixture of several ingredients that is used as what? Plant fertilizer. It is also used to improve soil chemical, physical and biological properties. This particular component is usually prepared by decomposing plant and food wastes that have been recycled organically to manure. They are recycled materials that can help you make what we refer to as manure. It is very, very essential, essentially used for plants. The resultant mixture is rich in plant nutrients and beneficial to organisms like bacteria, protozoans, fungi, etc. The major benefits of this particular substance, the compost, is that it provides nutrients to crops when they are used as fertilizer. It provides nutrients to crops when used as fertilizer. It acts as soil conditioners as well. It acts as soil conditioners, increasing humus and humic acid content of the soil. It serves as a suitable substrate or substitute for inorganic fertilizer. Inorganic fertilizer like the NPK fertilizer, the nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium combination. This particular substance can serve as a substitute for that. Also, it introduces beneficial microbes that suppresses the action of pathogens. All of these are materials and benefits of the compost. So this is what the picture of compost looks like. You can see here, you can see how the compost is actually prepared. It is from a combination of plants and then food scraps. That is how compost is being made. You can see now this part here is the part that has freshly been gathered together, but after it has decomposed, it turns to something that looks like this in the hand of this person in the picture, and eventually it all turns to something that looks like this here, which is ready to be applied to the crops. So that is about the compost. So here I wrote out some materials that you use in making compost. It is made from green waste. You can add green waste, e.g. leaves, grasses, food scraps, etc. and brown waste. All of these brown waste from the woody materials, they are rich in carbon. You can break them down into humus. The decomposition process is aided by shredding or milling. You can actually grind or shred or mill all of these things together, and then the plant matter, adding water and ensuring aeration by regularly turning the mixture in the material. So you regularly, after you have put them together, you find a way to mill them or grind them, and then you add some amount of water. You can even add some amount of ash to it to aid acidity, and then you make sure that you regularly turn them to avoid a part of it decomposing. So that is how this particular substance is being made. So we move to the next specimen now, which is specimen E, talking about cutlass. Cutlass is usually a long flat metal blade that is sharpened at one end. It has one end of it sharpened. It has wooden, plastic or rubber or even metal handle. It has wooden, plastic or rubber or even metal handles, and it is used for cutting or slashing grasses, trees, branches, etc. A cutlass can be seen as a short, broad slashing sword with a straight or slightly curved blade sharpened on the cutting edge. To care for this particular substance, you just need to clean off soil clumps from the metal parts after use, and then you try as much as possible to oil it to prevent the metal part from rusting. So this is what the cutlass looks like. You can see this metal part here. That is what I said earlier on, that it has a flat long metal part which is usually sharp at one end. This part here is very sharp. This part is sharp, and then you can see that it has a wooden handle in this particular one. We have some of them that have plastic handles. You can see this one here, this particular picture here, this one and this one here. I mean this cutlass and this cutlass, they have plastic handles, while the one in the middle has wooden handle. We can see that these ones here, they are curved at the edge, not like this one that I showed previously that is a bit flat on the edge here. So those are pictures of the cutlass. You can see that is another picture of a cutlass. And then we move over to the next specimen, which is specimen F, talking about the spade. Spade is another tool, another farming tool. This is a tool primarily adopted for digging. That is majorly what this particular tool is used for. It has a long handle and blade, typically with the blade narrower and flatter than those of common shovels, which is pointed at the top. The blade of the shovel is usually pointed. Early spades were made of raven wood of animal bones. Yes, that is what the early spades were made of, either raven wood or animal bones, and they were also made with sharper tips of metal. The care of this particular instrument is like those of the cutlass, where you clean off the soil from the blade and you oil periodically. So this is what this spade looks like. You can see the picture in this diagram. That is what the spade looks like. You can see that the edge of the blade here is flat and it's even, and then that is how the spade looks like. So that is what you can see. It has a long handle and here with the blade. So we have that as the diagram of the spade, and this is another diagram of the spade as well. You can see that is another diagram of the spade. Now you could be told to differentiate between a shovel and a spade. This is a typical example of that. This one here shows us what a spade looks like. Let me show us the blade. You can see that the blade of a spade is even at the base. You can see, like we have shown us in the past, but that of the shovel is curved and pointed towards the base. That is the major difference between a shovel and a spade. You can see that the shovel is pointed towards the end, while spade is evenly flat. That is about specimen F. And so we move over to specimen G, which is a wheelbarrow. A wheelbarrow is a small handheld propelled load bearing vehicle. It is actually used to wheel materials or to carry materials from one place to the other. It is designed to be pushed and guided by a single person. It is designed to be pushed and guided by a single person using the hand at the rear. When load is put in the bucket of the substance, it actually is used to transport the material to another location. It is used to transport materials like soil, mulch, and debris from one location to another. It employs a system of sharing the weight of the load between the operator and the wheel of the barrow. This is what I'm saying here. This is an example of a wheelbarrow. So when load is put in the bucket here, that is where we have the load put, and then it is lifted on these handles here by the operator. The weight of the load will be shared between the operator and the wheel of this barrow, and so that is how this particular instrument operates. So when the load is put in it, it can be wheeled out to another location. And so we have different examples of them. We have this one using a single wheel, and this one here uses two wheels. So those are different examples of the wheelbarrow, which are specimen G. So we move over to the next specimen, which is specimen H, talking about yam beetle. Yam beetle. Now classifying yam beetle, we say that the kingdom is Animalia, the phylum there is Arthropoda, the class is Insecta, the order is Coleoptera, the family is the Scarabaeidae. We have it to be Scarabaeidae, and then the genus is Heterolygous. Heterolygous is its genus, and then species, we have two types of this yam beetle. We have the melis and then the apios, the heteromelygous melis and the heterolygous apios. This heterolygous melis is usually seen as the greater yam beetle, while the heterolygous apios is seen as the lower yam beetle, as you can see that I have written them here. But both of them are destructive. That is their economic importance. They are destructive as they significantly impact yam crops by feeding on them, on the tubers, thereby reducing the market value and potentially causing wilting or death of the plant. Yes, they feed on the plant. Even on the farm, they just burrow into the soil, eat up the yam tuber. It can be controlled using suitable pesticide. Let me show us a picture of what we are talking about. So this is what the yam beetle looks like. You can see it. This is another picture of the yam beetle. They are very, very destructive. That is the picture of the yam beetle. So we can see what they can do. They can reduce yam too. Once they get into the yam, they just eat up the yam, burrow into the yam, and then they reduce the market value of the particular product. And then we move over to the next specimen, which is our specimen I. That is the cowpea weevil. The cowpea weevil. And here we have the classification of that organism. Kingdom Animalia, the phylum is Arthropoda, the class is Insecta, the order is the Coleoptera. We have the family to be the Chrysomelidae, we have the genus to be Calosobruchus, and then the species is the Maculatus. The Maculatus is the species, and scientifically it is written as the Calosobruchus maculatus. That is the scientific name of this particular substance. This beetle is a pest that affects stored legumes. It affects legumes that are stored, and it lacks the snout of a true weevil. Because it lacks the snout, that is why it is not actually seen as a true weevil. It is more elongated in shape than other members of leaf beetle family. It is more elongated in shape than other members of the leaf beetle family, and its mature female adults can lay up to 100 eggs, and then it can make them to hatch. It can lay up to 100 eggs, and most of these eggs will hatch. The eggs are laid in the surface, or they are laid on the surface of the bean, and when they are laid, the larva emerges, and then the larva burrow into the bean seed. That is how this particular thing is done. The eggs are just laid on the eggs of the weevil are laid on the surface of the bean, and then when the larva emerges from the eggs that are laid, the larva down burrows into the bean. To control them, you can make use of some systems where you put the grains into very, very enclosed containers, put them in airtight containers, and also you can apply pesticides when the symptoms are seen. You can apply pesticides to kill off the pest of this particular substance, this cowpea weevil that we're talking about. So these are pictures of the cowpea weevil. You can see pictures of the cowpea weevil here. That is what the cowpea weevil looks like. Here's another picture of it. You can see another picture of the cowpea weevil. And now we move over to the next specimen, which is our specimen J, the Centrosema pubescens. Centrosema pubescens. It is a plant. So this is the classification that we have for it. The planter A is the kingdom. It belongs to the phylum Trachyphyta. The class is Angiosperma. Order there is the Fabaceae, while the family is Fabaceae. The genus is Centrosema, while the species is pubescens, and that is how we arrived at this name here, the Centrosema pubescens. Commonly referred to as the centro or butterfly pea. Will tell us why it is called butterfly pea shortly. It is a legume that is cultivated as forage for livestock. Yes, they cultivate this particular crop to actually feed livestock. It is a perennial herb that reaches about 45 centimeters in height. That's approximately 17.5 meters tall. This particular organism leaves the leaves of this particular organism, they are trifoliate. The leaves are trifoliate, and the flowers are generally pale violet with darker violet veins. the flowers of this particular plant, they are pale in color, they are pale violet in color, light violet in color, and then it has darker violet beans. Then we have the fruit to be flat in this long dark brown pod. The fruit of this particular plant, they are found in long dark brown pods, and a pod can contain up to 20 seeds. Sometimes one pod of this particular crop can contain up to 20 seeds. Like I said earlier on, it is a forage crop that is used as a source of protein to farm animals. It is also planted as cover crop because we said it is a legume, so it suppresses weeds and tolerates drought. But it has its disadvantage. The major disadvantage of this particular crop is that it ripens unevenly. It doesn't ripen at the same time, and so this prevents mechanical harvesting of that particular crop. It is harvested manually by hand. So this is what we are talking about here. We can see now, looking at the shape of this thing here, that is why it is called butterfly pea. We can see that it looks somewhat like a butterfly. That is why it is given that name, butterfly pea. So if you look at it now, it has violet color, and then it has slight we have, let me do this. We can see that it has light violet color, and then it has some veins that look slightly deeper in color than, you can see all of these things here that look slightly deeper in color, like having deep violet color. So those are the veins, as we have said that in the past. So that is the flower of the crop. We can see it here also. That is what the Centrosema is. So this is the pod of this particular crop, the Centrosema. So we move to the next specimen, which is the spear grass, the Heteropogon contortus. This is the classification of that particular organism. Kingdom is Plantae, phylum is Trachyphyta, the class is Angiosperma, the order is Poalis, family is Poaceae, then the genus is Heteropogon, and the species is contortus. So it is a tropical perennial crop with height of about 1.8 meters, that's about 4.5 feet. It produces dark seeds with a single long on. It produces dark seed with single long on at one end and a sharp spike at the other. It grows into a valuable pasture, and so it can be cultivated and used as food for animals. It is used as thatches to roof rural sheds or houses. It is also used as fodder when young, and it can also be used for hay or silage. Yes, these are things that this particular crop is used for. So these are pictures to help us understand what we are talking about. These are pictures of the spear grass. This is the like the flower of the spear grass. So let's show us other pictures to help us understand. You can see how the spear grass looks. That is a bunch of the spear grass. You can see them. So that is about the spear grass. And so we move to the next specimen, which is specimen L, the gizzard of chicken. The classification there of the chicken is from the kingdom Animalia to the phylum, which is Chordata, the class is Aves, the order is Galliformis, the family there is Phasianadae, the genus is Gallus, and the species is Domestica. And that is how we arrived at this scientific name. This particular crop is also known this particular specimen, the gizzard, is also known as the ventriculus. The ventriculus, which is a muscular thick-walled part of the bird's stomach, and it is used majorly for grinding food or the grains that have been eaten by the birds. This ventriculus contains tiny stones called grits. It contains tiny stones called grits, and they are majorly used to grind the contents of the ventriculus or the contents of the gizzard. These grits accompanies the action of the gizzard. It is highly proteinous, containing vitamins such as vitamin B12, that is cyanocobalamin, which aids brain health. Yes, cyanocobalamin aids brain health, and that is why it is a very, very major essential nutrient. Also, it is rich in vitamins, iron, phosphorus, all of which are very essential to the body. This particular substance is low in fat and cholesterol. That is why it is highly sought for as an addition to one's diet. Now, this is the thing that we are talking about here. This is how the ventriculus or the gizzard looks. You can see it has a thick wall here, You can see the thick muscular wall around here, and then inside it, it has a tiny sheet lining the internal part of the ventriculus or the gizzard. That is what that particular part is looking like. You can see this is the content of the gizzard. You can see how it looks, having some grains and some probably grasses, undigested grasses in them. That is what the content of the gizzard looks like. It has some grains, some sandstones and the rest of those inside the gizzard. So that is what the gizzard is. Here's another picture of it, the whole gizzard before it is cut open to get this. And this is what you can see inside. These are the things that we refer to as grits. You can see these tiny stones, they are called grits. So they are the things that help to mill the contents of the gizzard. And then we move over to the next specimen, which is our specimen M, goat skin. Goat skin is our specimen M, and the classification there, we have the kingdom to be Animalia, the phylum is Chordata, the class is Mammalia, the order is the Artiodactyla. We have the family to be Bovidae, the genus is Capra, and the species is Hercus. And that is how we got this scientific name to be Capra hercus. This skin is gotten from goats and can be used for many purposes. Number one is that it can be eaten as food, and also it can be converted into leather for various numerous functions, e.g. used as clothing, leathery works like belts, sandals, furniture, etc. Now, leather is a strong, if I was to talk about leather is a strong, flexible and durable material obtained from the tanning or chemical treatment of animal skin, preventing it from decaying. When you try to make a leather, you make use of animal skin, and the process of converting animal skin to leather is what we refer to as tanning. So that is what I explained here, that tanning is the conversion of animal skin into processed leather. So in the process of producing leather, there are some processes that are made use of. The manufacturing processes of leather, they include one, the preparatory step, where you actually prepare your skin, and then the tanning process actually, which is where you carry out the conversion of the skin into leather. And then we have the crusting. The crusting is what I explained here to be. The crusting is the thinning and the lubricating process of leather. The thinning and the lubricating process of leather, that is the process that comes after tanning. And lastly, in some cases you could have the fourth process, which is the finishing, to actually polish that leather to a fine product. So this is what the animal skin looks like, or the goat skin. This is what it looks like, and it is with this, it has hairs on it, it is with this now that people eat their meat, or they actually convert this thing into leather or leathery works. You can see these are examples of animal skin or goat skin. And then we move to the next specimen, which is the horn. The horn is a hard permanent outgrowth that is often curved, pointed and found in pairs on the head of some animals like the cattle, the goats, the deer, etc. This horn, they are made of keratin and other proteinous substances surrounding a core of bones. They are found on the head surrounding a core of bones, and they are distinct from anothers. They are distinct, they have different views from animal to animal. This makes them which are shed and regrown annually. They are distinct from another, they are shed and grown annually. So this is what the horn looks like. You can see these are horns gotten from already cut at the tip here to make a hole into it, and so this one can be used as a musical instrument. This is another example of a horn. You can see it is used as a horn to make sound. So these are other pictures of horns on the animals. You can see how it is shaped. So this is the horn that we have talked about. You can see on this particular animal, you can see the shape that it portrays. This is another animal that has another horn. You can see the shape of this one as well. You can see how it looks on this animal. And here we have another one which is like this. You can see the shape of this one as well. So these are pictures of animals that have horns. So these are the list of specimens and the things that we need to talk about them. talking about the specimen that have been released by Waec for the 2025 agricultural science practical, as we have listed. So we encourage you to try as much as possible to go through all that has been said once again. Familiarize yourself with the characteristics, the uses, and in some cases the preparation of some of these materials. Get to know them, familiarize yourself with them, so it will aid your answering the questions that you come across them in the examination. I encourage us to try as much as possible to subscribe to our channel if you are yet to do so. Subscribing to our channel has a whole lot of benefits to offer you. Do not fail to do that. And when you subscribe to the channel, please click on the notification button to help you get notified of subsequent uploads when we put them up on our channel. Like our contents, share them with your friends, let them also benefit from what you are getting. I want to hear from you, so do not forget to put up your burning questions in our comment section, and we will do well to get back to you on them as soon as possible. Thank you very much, and it is a success for you already in your exam. Bye for now.